All right, everybody, welcome to the NorCal Sports Network Postgame show. Thought I would put this in a little deeper tonight, but man, Giants showed some moxie a little bit tonight, down 4-0, and they come back in the sixth inning and score 4 runs on back-to-back home runs, and then Diaz hits a 3-run homer in the top of the 7th for the Rockies. And what do you know? The Giants come back and get 2 in the bottom of the 7th on a Sable 2-run shot. And then they tie it in the 8th, or did they tie it in the 7th? I can't remember. Let me look.
There was a lot going on in those 3 innings.
There was a lot of action there tonight. Yeah, it looked like Coors Field actually tonight instead of Oracle Park. Giants were down in the 8th, going into the 8th, 7-6, and they score 3 runs with the couple of their runs come in with bases loaded walks. Wilmer Flores gets his 500th career RBI on a bases-loaded walk. And then and that home plate umpire, man, he was horrible. He was calling balls strikes and strikes balls. It was like, what a pathetic performance, man. Talk about, sending guys down in the majors down to the minors for lack of performance. Baseball needs to get their act together and start sending umpires down. Like, look, you're a 4A ump. You're going back, So
they have to be judged too.
Yeah. So let's but Giants got to give them credit. I mean, we've been all over them. They come back. They lost tonight and they were 3.5 back of the Diamondbacks, who won today. Also, Miami won today. Cincinnati did lose. So, yeah, to me, it was a matter of just making this they had to win, and they got to win the next couple of games in this series. Otherwise, their backs are to the wall. I mean, they got about a 20% chance. It was going to drop down to about a 15% chance with a loss. But the fact that they won, let me see what their odds are now, updated to 19.8. They still dropped a little because 1 game less on the schedule, and Arizona won. So every time Arizona and Miami win, even if the Giants win, their odds are going to go down a little bit. They lose, those odds are jumping 4 or 5 percentage points. So what'd you guys think of the ball game tonight?
I was going to say, raise your hand, anybody, if you watched that game from the very first pitch to the very last pitch consecutively. Raise your hand, anybody. You're a better man than I am, Bora, and anybody else out there. Better.
I didn't see any hands go up in the chat.
I don't think, guys, I've watched one Giants game from beginning to end. Not one this year. Like I'll go in and out. I'll go to this, I'll go to that. I don't know if and I used to watch games from beginning to end all the time. This might be the first year. So, Bora, big ups to you. Obviously, you didn't have much going on tonight, so good win for the Giants, man. Hey, they had to win. I know it's a crappy team, but they did what they had to do. You got to beat bad teams, and it doesn't matter if it's 10-1 or if it's 9-8. Wins a win. So
you got to win. You got to win those games that are put in front of you. Everybody plays the same schedule, so it's a matter of taking care of these guys. I mean, Giants are 2.5 out of the wild card. They're behind 3 teams still. They trail Cincinnati. I think it's only by a game and a half. Let's see. They trail Cincinnati by 1 game. Miami by 2 games, and Arizona by 2.5. So, Cincinnati. Who was Cincinnati playing? Somebody easy. Oh, St. Louis. St. Louis. Yeah. Anybody can beat anybody, and don't think that other teams are throwing in the towel, because other teams are playing. A lot of guys on those rosters are playing for their big league careers. They're not. They don't care what the standings are. They want to put up a good performance, and those guys. So every major leaguer not on a multi-year contract right now doesn't have a guarantee is pushing. I'll say, I think you could say guys like Machado, when they're out of it, they throw in the towel, because what's he care? He signed for 10 more years, 300 plus million. He can give a crap. Kyle Harrison tonight. This is what I saw of him in spring training. Some innings he looked great. Other innings he got rocked. And, he's got to have better command, because if he gets behind in the count, I don't care how good a fastball is. If somebody's waiting for it, or if they're sitting on a breaker that's swerving right into their lane, their wheelhouse, it's very hittable with major leaguers.
You want to highlight Giovanni Villegas' comment, Eric? Anybody?
This one?
No.
Oh.
Most recent one.
I got it. Is it this one, or is that
no? The one before. Yes. My response.
Come on, that's Robert Rothberg in disguise.
I was going to say my response to that is Giovanni Villegas is Italian for Robert Rothberg.
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to get all excited. This is the worst team in the National League. Come on. And you had a scratch and claw to try to beat this team that isn't very good.
World Series contenders.
Yeah, I agree with you, Los. That a win is a win. I totally get that.
But not World Series contenders.
They're not. They're not even wild card contenders right now. The way that they're playing. I mean, it's ugly. It's ugly. And now you had to go to the bullpen again early. I was hoping Harrison could go at least 7. So now you go to the bullpen early again. So I don't know. I like what what's his name said, Tyler Burbeck. He's like, "Where's Farhan? I thought he was arguing with umps again." Yeah, what was that? Where was the passion when his young kid who had a 3-hit night got rung up when the bases loaded? Bases were loaded, weren't it?
Yeah, he said he was being sarcastic. This team barely beat.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. All right, good deal.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so that's Italian for Greg Dayton then. But yeah, I mean, come on,
there you go.
Kapler, where's your passion? Stick up for your young kid. Your guy had 3 hits for you tonight. I mean, where are you at? That was way inside, but whatever. What are you going to do?
Kapler was really frustrated. The end of the game, Duvall had what's his name? Was it Jones? What's the guy's name that hit the
Noah Jones? The guy hit the double.
Hit a home run, then he hit a double. He took that was a called strike 3 right on the corner. Beautiful pitch. He was calling balls like 8 inches to a foot outside of that, strikes all night.
He was calling the high strike. He was calling
the low strike. This guy was all over the board. This guy was a little league umpire, man. It was bad. You could see Kapler about ready to blow a gasket in the dugout.
Why didn't he? Where's he at? Come out there, Kapler. Defend your team.
At that point, he probably didn't want to, upset Duvall. And he was, you don't want to upset the timing of your pitcher. Come out there, throw him
but
off.
I'm talking more about Matos too. I mean, that's just, come on, man.
But it's that they look at that. They'll go back and look at that, and hopefully MLB will. Who knows what they do with these?
They don't do nothing. I mean, Angel Hernandez, Las Diaz is still out there.
Yeah,
I mean, all these CB Buckner, they all stink.
Yeah, they're all awful.
They got a good union. They got a good union.
When they were down 8-7 and Jock was at second, I was thinking, damn, it's going to take at least a double to score him.
Yeah, especially when he was looked like he had cramps in his leg.
He is so heavy, man. But the single that did score him, the outfielder was playing so far back. That,
yes, yeah.
Like he was almost halfway through a third and home by the time he got to the ball. So that excessive weight didn't hurt us there speed wise.
Brian Iglesias says, "What a great win! Amazing guts. How can you not love a game-winning walks? Can't wait to see this team get shut out tomorrow and 2 hit on Sunday night base. Oh, that's right, Sunday night baseball.
That's ridiculous. What a horrible matchup, huh?
Why?
Sunday night?
They haven't switched that out? Oh, my God.
Hey, I got something for you guys to
especially with the NFL coming on for this weekend.
That's going to be the lowest. That's going to be the lowest rated Sunday night.
MLB
game.
threw in the towel. They said, "Forget it. No one's going to watch baseball anyway, so we'll just throw this team out here. We'll just throw this game out there. Everyone's going to be watching football."
Yeah. Oh man.
Or I think you're muted.
I'm muted.
No,
Bora, I think.
No, I might not watch it. That's
okay. There you
go for it, Bora. You haven't said nothing yet. Go for it.
I mean, it's one win, guys. It's like I'm not gonna get caught up in one win. The offense was good. The pitching wasn't that good. They need to put it together for 5 consecutive games for me to say that things have changed. Because right now it's one game. This team is inconsistent. I'm betting that tomorrow they're going to be scoring 3 runs with 5 hits. That's just who this team is. They're an inconsistent team. And I mean, you saw it today. There's really no consistency.
No. And who's pitching tomorrow? Is it supposed to be Cobb, maybe? Possible?
No, Cobb's not pitching until like Monday.
Oh, so they pushed him out. So it's to be determined then. Got it.
Tomorrow's matchup, they'll probably announce it in the post game. Maybe somebody will get it while we're on the air.
If Cobb even pitches, and that's another thing, we may have lost another starting pitcher.
I think is it Webb or are they pushing him to Sunday?
I don't know.
Webb tomorrow.
Maybe it's Webb then.
Webb.
Oh, one thing that we didn't talk about. Why was Harrison out in the 6th inning? That
90 pitches.
No, I mean, to me that just
why did he go out there?
Yeah, he go out. That doesn't make, because if you were gonna pull him after, like, if someone gets on or something, and there's a good
just don't throw him out there.
Yeah, there's no point in throwing him out there.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think. Yeah, he had too many. Just save his arm if it's what are you getting out of it? An extra 8 pitches and
right.
The Giants they scrap for an out. So
Giovanni, you're right. The Marlins are playing some really good ball right now. Same thing with Arizona. Arizona's coming out strong. Gallen's going out
really
there.
Good.
Arizona's gone into Chicago and shut them down. 2 runs, and Chicago scored 2 runs in 2 games. After just feasting on the Giants. So yeah, it's definitely. Like I say, win's a win. We'll see where it goes from here.
Those Giants Diamondbacks games in Arizona, Dan, might actually have more Diamondbacks fans for once.
It could be. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting couple of games. We'll see where these things are going. I mean, this is the easiest part of the schedule the entire season for the Giants.
Yep.
They've got 10 games, 7 with Colorado and 3 with Cleveland. If you can't win a minimum of 7-3, I mean, that's minimum. You should be going 8-2 or better on this 10. If you really want to make a statement and get in the playoffs, anything less than 7-3 is a failure in my book. Even if they go 6-4, this is where you got to make up your ground. You got to take care of business, and
I don't think they're going to take care of business because good teams take care of business. This team isn't a good team, so I'm expecting them to go 6-4, 5-5.
Yeah, on this 10 games, I'd probably be about right. Yeah, I mean they're awful on the road, and everybody's coming out and saying it. We've been saying this all year long. Saying in the beginning of the year, I said this is a 500 team. Got a little bit fooled when they went 10-0 and won 12 of 13. They were playing a different style of ball at that point.
Who wouldn't get confused by that?
I mean, Matos had just come up. Schmidt was playing well. Matos, Bailey, and all of a sudden there was some excitement around the team. And then the Giants, they shut it off, though. They shut the thing off when guys start struggling. Instead of just staying with the guys, the article Justin Kerwin mentioned right there with Bruce Jenkins. And someone else wrote it. I don't know if it was Jenkins that wrote it, or I read so many articles today. I read some from Baggerly, from Jenkins, from somebody else.
Jenkins is pretty big.
Who was it that was talking about the team doesn't believe in the players know they're not believed in. They get pinch hit. Crawford gets pinch hit by Matthias. Was that Baggerly's or was that Jenkins?
I can't remember.
Yeah, because there's no belief. These guys in the dugout got to be shaking their heads. I mean, the pitching staff is confused. Wood gets pulled when he wants to stay in. Webb gets pulled. He wants to stay in. They go back to the dugout. They walk back.
Consistency.
Articles talking about they walk away feeling like, gosh, what a wasted day. I wanted to finish. And then the Giants blow it. They don't believe in, and as far as people who say get rid of Kapler and keep Farhan, forget it. You could bring any manager in. As long as Farhan's in here, it's a puppet. Yeah. It's a puppet.
Farhan's the bigger problem than Kapler.
Yes.
Totally. I get on Kapler because of all of his weirdness and his food reviews and stuff and just his whole vibe.
As a person, yeah.
As a person. But look, that's him as a manager. He's cuffed.
Yeah.
He's cuffed. Farhan is calling the shots, making the lineup out. Anybody who doesn't think Farhan's making this lineup out and having, Farhan, put a picture up of Pinocchio for me, please. I've had it with this clown. I don't care how nice of a guy he is. Put the uniform on, Farhan. You might as well. You are the manager de facto. Put the manager on. Put the uniform on. Bring your big fat boiler out there, and don't wear a hat, so we could see your face out there. Want to see you run out there. And, hey guys, hey, I think I'm gonna. Don't worry about it, Austin. You're a right-handed specialist. That's why you're on my team. Jock, I got you $20 million. Don't complain. I know you can't hit left-handed pitching, but I gave you $20 million. This is the way I'm running the ball club. Forget bringing in any manager. Shoot, you could bring in the little dwarf Kai Correa, the guy who doesn't have any baseball experience above 2A college,
Don't make fun of his height.
Why not?
Oh, man.
Short people have feelings, too.
Oh, yeah. Man. Short people matter.
Not in a dugout, unless you're out Jose Altuve and you can hit.
There you go.
That dude can rake for 5'6".
Hey,
another thing that we haven't talked about is Sable getting hit by a pitch. That was inches from a broken finger, and they would have to go. They'd have to go 2 innings in high stress innings
with no catcher.
With no catcher.
Yeah, good job, Farhan Gabe, taking out your catcher. Playing with one catcher again.
You pinch hit your catcher when you only have another catcher available.
You know what?
Why?
Bring up Genovese or something. Have 3 catchers. Jeez.
Hey, Bart almost hit one out. Close.
Yeah, he did. And then Matos hit one off the wall. Matos hit his double off the wall.
That's another thing. Hey, the park was playing really small today. It was warm.
Well,
no wind.
They were facing AAA pitching, so.
Yeah.
Well, Ty Block.
Ty
Block, the third time you see him, man, I think I could go up. I think I could hit that ball coming in.
They should have hit it in the first inning. God. I mean, they got 2 leadoff hits. And then he comes with like 2 strikeouts, and I can't remember what. I think a pop-up.
They want the clown song? Okay, let me give you the clown song.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
For the Giants here. Pull it up for you right.
I know exactly where it's at. I got it.
There we go. Giants coaching staff and front office.
There you go.
There you go. Front
There
office.
you go.
Hey, there's
One more
AJ
time.
Pollock, forever Giant in there.
Yeah. The only acquisition we ever got in the offseason.
So, I'm just so tired of seeing these guys in the dugout and just, read somewhere today that the third base coach, Hallberg, was Buster Posey's roommate. And,
I remember hearing. What was that call, by the way? To
sending him
Matos?
home with no out.
That was a horrible call.
I think it was a bad call, but to give him a little bit of defense, Giants, how many times have we seen the Giants, even with runners and scoring second and third, no out, not score?
That's a good point. But I mean, you can't do that to especially a struggling offense because you are taking a gamble. But if that gamble doesn't pay off, there was like 0 outs, right? Then you have 1 out with no runners on, and your innings just completely gone.
Well, that inning went from a single throw out at the plate after Matos had the double. It was a double, right? He had 2 doubles tonight.
Think so, yeah.
Hits a double, gets thrown out the plate. Next batter, double play. And the inning's over. I thought, oh my goodness, these guys are just going to go down badly. But hey, you got to give the men in orange that played the game tonight. You got to give those guys credit. They did not give up. They battled back. As much as they're at a deficit when it comes to talent against most of the league, they do have better talent than the Rockies.
Yeah.
The Rockies
that's saying something. Hey, they're better than the worst team in the National League.
Rockies are pathetic. Man, they're bad. Wow. I mean, it's just that's a bad group. I'm surprised that Bud Black, they just keep – I mean, I'd love to have Bud Black in my dugout instead of the Rockies.
Who's worse, the A's or the Rockies?
Well, the A's are worse record-wise, but
record-wise, the A's are. But
so, Lois, would you say that the Rockies are the Lex Luger of professional wrestling? Is that what you would say? Pretty close.
We're bringing wrestling in here already.
What?
Okay, guys. There we go.
I like Nolan Jones, though. I think he's going to be a player.
I just answered the question. I'm innocent.
You're innocent.
I just was asked the question. What up, Bora?
Nolan Jones, he's going to be a player. He's going to be
pretty
really
good. Yeah.
He stole a bag, too.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. I bring him back in, and he's still talking. All right, sabotaging the show. Sabotaging the show. All right, look, I'll bring him in and watch them. We'll see if it keeps going. If it's just here he goes.
I love that damn thumbnail.
What happened to Chris Bryant? Is he hurt?
He's been hurt forever.
Yeah, he is.
That is the worst signing, man.
Nice signing. What did
I
say?
The
That was
Giants
such an interesting signing as well. Like that came out of left field. The Rockies signing Chris Bryant.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, 7 years. Yeah. I'll give Farhan credit on couple things. One, he let Rodon go. First, I'll tear him apart a little bit. He should have traded him at the trade deadline and got a top prospect. Mm-hmm. When he didn't do that, he got the compensatory pick, which became Joe Witten, a left-handed pitcher out of Kent State or something like that. Might be okay. We'll see. But not signing Rodon and not signing
Correa,
Bryant and Correa, good moves because they have histories. But why? Here's what doesn't make sense. Why do you sign Haniger and Conforto who have similar histories? I mean, you're 3 for 5. And Listella, you're 3 for 6.
He's going to say because he didn't give them long-term contracts that they're okay, that they're a minimal risk. But the money is still pretty high, even if it's only 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's okay, man.
Following your younger guys' development.
It's all part of the.
That's what he's missing, Bora. Exactly. By bringing those average players in, he's roadblocking young talent.
Totally,
and not giving them a chance. Like
totally.
Ramos.
Eric's got that up Matthew's comment.
Yeah.
He's gonna leave it up there all night.
Yeah. Thank you, Matthew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you sign these guys, you're thinking, oh, it's low risk, low reward because it's 3 years max. But it's actually low reward, high risk, just because this is the time that your draft prospects are finally coming through. And Conforto, Haniger, they're just blocking these guys, Meckler, Ramos, and Matos. So it's really a high risk, low reward.
I mentioned something maybe 6-7 weeks ago about I kind of thought Farhan would not be here long term. I didn't think he was a guy that would stick in an organization for 10, 12, 15 years. I just don't see that in him. So maybe his thinking is, I'm not going to be here long term. Why am I going to invest in the young guys that take a long time? Let me try to win now and try to get veterans all the time.
Hey, you know what? If he had some real, what do we call it on the show? Tan your nuts or whatever. If he had some balls, it would be great if he said, "Oh, you guys want to bring me back for a lame duck year on a 1-year deal? See ya. I'm out of here."
Yeah, I would respect that.
I would respect that. You'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go on with a new team. Like I'm gonna go rebuild, somebody like Kansas City, or."
I was just going to ask, if he leaves the Giants, do you think he gets another job in the same position? Do you think somebody else takes a chance on him?
I think so. Just because of his track record in Los Angeles, they're gonna look at that and they're gonna.
Eric's having his own conversation in the chat.
No, it's just
they're gonna skip over the Giants.
What?
What did you say? You said you wish they had some what?
Tan nuts.
Oh. All right, Eric. All right. Hey, Eric. You know when you push an umpire a little bit too much?
You said it. You said
You know what an umpire?
Nuts.
You know what an umpire?
You're out of here.
He's gone. He'll be back at. We'll see. We'll see if Eric will be back or not tonight.
I could totally see you, Dan, being an umpire at one time.
I was.
I could totally see that.
I ran people.
At what level? At what level?
I did Babe Ruth, and then I did some high school.
Did you ever have a coach or a manager?
Oh yeah.
Get into it
oh
with
yeah.
you?
I did high school basketball too. I could bring my whistle out. One more, buddy.
No,
I said, sit down. One more and you're gone. You got it? Hey,
I absolutely loved when some managers got into it with umpires. I mean, nose to nose.
Yeah.
They would turn the hat around like this, and it was awesome. God, I love that.
If I was umping today, I'd have to carry my 9mm in my pocket. I'm serious, man. Yeah. I'd be like, somebody start. I've seen umpires get decked in Little League. Jeez, crazy. It's crazy parents, man. So Eric put the me up there in the Kapler picture again. He thought that was cute. Let's just make him sit out for a little while. Sit back there in his corner. Maybe
you give him a 2-minute timeout on the hockey box.
I gave him a major misconduct, 5 minutes.
A major 5 minutes.
5 minutes in the box, and he's got 3 minutes to go. And you know what, Eric? While you're in that box, okay, there we go. Eric, while you're in that box, I want you to write down. I want sentences, and I want you to post the sentences. I will not put up pictures of Dan in Gabe's body ever again. 50 sentences. There you go. That's your punishment.
Like Bart Simpson used to write on the chalkboard.
Yeah. Hey, I have got something for you guys tonight that I gotta see if I can find it. Los, Bora, you're gonna love this, and the chat is gonna love this. If I can put the link up somehow and have you guys sign up for this, this is an awesome pool to be in, and it's run by some group in the Bay Area. And I've got a link. If you let me see if I can find it here. Let me work on it. Hold on. I got a copy, and then I'm going to put it in the email. And let's see.
You know, I want to talk about the game a little more. Why is Casey Schmidt playing second? I don't get that. He's gonna be the Giants' future
because Estrada had pink eye.
No, yeah, I mean,
and I don't even think he was going to be in the starting lineup unless he was going to be at short and DeYoung was out. Maybe that's what they were going to do.
Yeah, I mean, in the way I'm looking at it is Casey Schmidt's going to be your future third baseman. There's no reason. I mean, if it's a one-time thing, yeah, that's fine. But we've seen it where he doesn't really have his own position in the field. He'll play second, he'll play short, and he'll play third. And he's a really good third baseman. He has the arm to do that. JD Davis made an error. He hasn't been playing great third base. He had his home run, but he also struck out 3 times. He struck out on an 88-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle. I just think if Schmidt is going to be your future third baseman, and maybe they're not thinking he's going to be their third baseman. Maybe they're thinking he's going to be his shortstop or whatever. But you should be playing him in the position that he's projected to play in, because he needs that. He's already a really good third baseman, but he could be a Nolan Arenado type third baseman in the field. He's that good, and I would just like to see him being developed there. I don't want him being developed at second.
Yeah.
Val Ramos says, Dan, answer my question, please. Let me see what your question is.
Jesus, how many at-bats has Conforto
Dan, who would you rather have on the Giants, Bryant, Correa, or Haniger and Conforto? How about none of the above? But since you asked it in a way that you did, if I've got to pick those, I would take Haniger and Conforto because obviously I'm answering your trap. It's a short contract, 1 to 3 years or 2 years or whatever they are. So yeah, you're stuck with them, but I would assign neither of them. Is that Dan should never mention, I was just about ready to let you out of the box. I was just letting you out of the box. Totally letting him out of the box. And he does that. He's back in. Golly, Eric, Romo, you're like that propensity of the kid who's just really close to finishing his discipline, and he pops off right at the last second, and he gets back in the box.
Justin Kerwin is saying that Susan Slusser says Farhan had a players meeting with the players and says he still has confidence in them.
Of course.
Big shocker there. Well, he's supposed to say that to them, but
yeah, what are you going to say?
Matthew says it seems a bit excessive. It is a little excessive. He was coming out, and he put he's been working on, bringing stuff, but I'll still bring him back. I'll give the guy a little bit of grace. See how long it takes before he hangs himself again.
Hey, I was taking my cue.
Speaking of Q, Bobby Q says, "How are you doing?"
Hey, good segue.
Well.
Nice.
Doing well, thank you. Sports Center, like the logo. Check your Twitter, Dan. Okay, Eric L sends me some private messages in Twitter. Let's see what we got here from Eric L.
Might have been a trade request. Is he in the
he's not.
football?
He's not
no. he he didn't say anything other than how can I get back at Eric.
I see how it is, Eric. Okay.
So
all right.
How do I get back at Eric?
Let's see what we got here. Oh,
one of my go-to spots in the city for the top shelf American frozen drink coffee, the atmosphere and the service, but also because Carlos is a star and putting in good work on multiple.
So we're trying to change the coffee industry for good. What we do is that we work with farmers in Costa Rica. We're able to roast their own beans, and then we import it directly from them. We have a much more sustainable process for the crops.
Let's do a different one than that. That's not good.
Carlos is a star. That's hilarious.
We'll come up with different ones. Eric gives me some other stuff. I'm gonna have to give it to him. So anyway, Giants play a good game tonight in the sense that they come back late. They didn't look good at all. They made Ty Block look like Nolan Ryan. Did he get his career strikeout high in strikeouts tonight? What did he end up with? He was on pace. I know that.
What did they say? His career was like 7, right?
Something like that.
I can't name that movie, Mark. I got to think about that one. I don't know that one.
No, he got 6.
Padres put the beating on tonight of Astros 11-2, man. That's why their run differential is so good.
What's his name? The pitcher. God, why can't I think of his name? The lefty. He's going to be Cy Young.
Snell?
Oh,
Snell. Oh, yeah.
Snell or Steele. That's a good matchup.
Snell or Steele. Yeah, that would be a good matchup. Although
people are asking, where's Larry? Is Larry showing up or no?
Don't know what happened. Sent him the link. He may have fallen asleep,
Fair enough.
Tends to.
I don't want to put out thumbnails that are misleading. So
I know that was not intentional. I got an email or a text from him, said he wanted to come on. He retweeted it. My guess is he fell asleep watching the Giants.
This is actually an entertaining game. I don't know if maybe he just had a long day with his football.
Ooh, Justin Kerwin with a shot. Ooh, ow. Ooh. Dan must set records during NFL fantasy draft. Longest time and all his paper data that failed him on his picks.
Oh, damn.
Ooh.
Oh, what the heck? Wow.
D-Shot 316 says false advertisement. No, we didn't.
Not our fault. Not our fault.
Not our fault. We didn't. No false advertising. Didn't do it. I could show you the text right here. Where is it?
Yeah, that should be fun. Sunday. We'll see who squeaks out week 1.
There it is.
Yeah, who's going to be actually watching the Giants game? Because I don't think I'm going to
probably
be doing
nobody.
That.
Sunday night?
No.
Yeah.
Who's the Sunday night football game?
Cowboys Giants.
Cowboys, yeah.
Oh, nice game. Speaking of football, let me show you guys something real quick here. I want to pull this up real quick.
I see George Kittle and Ward is questionable, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You guys put any stock into that?
Now.
That's why I stayed away from Kittle in fantasy.
Yeah.
As much as I like him.
Who picked him up? Anyways, I don't remember. Anyone know who picked him up?
I don't know who did.
I can't remember who did.
What's ironic is Kelsey's always healthy and he gets injured right before week 1 and at practice too. Tyler
Burbeck, you're preaching to the choir. We all feel the same way.
What's that?
I'm done with Kapler.
Yeah. Let me show you something, guys. I want to get some of you guys in the chat to see this because this is really cool. Is my email sharing?
Your email is sharing. Do you want to share your email?
All right. So this here is a link, but I need to make the link from me somehow. How do I do that? I don't know. I'll have to figure this out. But if you want to join this is a really cool. Is it still sharing?
All it shows is your email.
Still showing my email. All right, let me.
You want to just bring up that link and then bring up the window that has a link.
Pretty small.
I'm going to show you the other one here. Picks. All right, so this is the picks. There's different leagues. I signed up for $60 for the year, and it gives me like 10 pools, and you can do all these different pools. There's a big survivor pool, quarterback one and done, loser survivor, brought to you. So you make the picks of who you think's going to lose, a weekly pick 'em, which is this right here. You go pick and you pick every game. You know, you go 15-0, 14-1, you're going to make some big money that week. There's millions of dollars into this pool. And it is really, really cool.
Can you put the link in the chat?
I will see if I can do that.
You're going to have to put spaces. You're going to have to put spaces in there.
Okay. Anyway, anybody who wants to get into this pool, you know what? Email me at norcalsportsnetwork@gmail. I'll send you the link.
Is this money go to Nigeria?
No, this is
Nigerian prince.
It's done through PayPal. It's set up through the Bay Area guys. And it started off with guys with about 40 in a survivor pool, and it's grown to thousands.
Wow.
It's look at all these active pools. The big survivor 2. You even got a second survivor pool after week 5, those who have lost. Playoffs, pick 'em. A loser survivor, where you pick the loser who's going to lose. Super Bowl, QB one and done, weekly pick'ems, NFL, all of this for $60. And you can go for like a $30 one or $20 or $30 one if you just want to get in the survivor only. But I'm telling you, if you guys want to get into this, just go ahead and, like if I went to the loser survivor pool, so you need to pick one. So I need to pick a win. Who's going to lose for sure? All right. So I would probably, and you can only
pick the 49ers.
Ooh, to lose?
Yep.
And they win, you're done. No. I mean,
I
would probably pick to lose this week.
Arizona,
yeah. I was thinking of taking Washington in my survivor pool. That would be a double win or a double loss because you got a pool of a survivor and a loser survivor. The other one that's not bad in here is Minnesota. Tampa at Minnesota. I'm not sure how good Tampa is going to be. Who's their quarterback? Baker?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Houston,
email me at I'll just put it in the link. I know
I'll put your email, the NorCal Sports.
Yeah. I think you have to put a space, right? For
I got
Gmail.
it. Yeah.
Just email me if you guys want to get in. I'll send you the link to get in. You sign up. I think if you get, it's pretty cool. Even if you get 10 people to sign up, they give you like a free for life, one ticket. So like if you want to just use that toward a survivor pool, you can join the survivor pool free for every year. So email me, tell me you want the link for it's the SCN. You can go, SCN. So it's something like scn.com or something like that. But I can send you the link, and then that way.
Yes, I know, MF.
Help you get in.
The picture does have Larry on there.
So guys, how's this for a crazy baseball stat? So in baseball, who is your best hitter in your lineup? What position?
Number 3, usually,
not what
right?
position.
3.
Number what?
Oh, you wait in the lineup?
No, yeah.
In the lineup, number 3.
Traditionally, but right now it's 2.
I'd say 1.
Okay. Traditionally, it's always been the 3-hitter.
Yeah. Lately it's changed to 2. Ohtani bats second.
Just for shits and giggles, I looked up every 3-hitter in today's games. There's 30 teams, 30 number 3 hitters. Take a guess how many guys are hitting over 300 in the 3 spot.
Oh,
supposedly your best hitter.
2.
Ooh, man.
Out of 30.
Out of 30?
1.
Out of 30. How many 300 hitters are there?
1.
In the 3 slot.
I'll say 4.
4?
2.
1.
Dan?
1.
Dan, you win. 1.
1. Woo!
And I've never heard of this. It's a guy named Royce Lewis, plays for the Twins.
Yeah, I was to say Minnesota. Yep.
Young and up and coming hitter.
Wow.
I mean, I was just kind of looking, and I was in shock how many guys were hitting 212, 226, 231.
The game's evolved.
It was hard. It was hard to find 270, 280 hitters.
Yeah. Now it's your 1 and 2 hitters that are your.
I am always talking about this, like how far hitting has become in the game. Just it's all power. It's just really all power. But
that's what it is.
To see 3 hitters and to see 1 out of 30 hitting 300 was pretty sad to me. Pretty sad. I had to validate what I've been saying for months that, wow, it's bad. Even the leadoff hitters were,
sketchy.
You guys want to talk about something interesting here a little bit? Joe Shasky's tweet. Did anybody see those tonight about the season?
Mm-mm.
Let me
talk about Giants or Niners.
No, let me pull it up here.
Shasky's finally getting on board. He wasn't saying this a few months ago.
No, he's talking about you want to talk about change of the game and everything. He's talking about something completely different.
You know who a 300 hitter on this team is for next year? Luis Matos.
Could be.
Could be. I think he might be 2 years away from that, but
his projection though in the future at least is he's going to be a future like 290.
He's up there like
hitter.
265, 260s right now. Yeah. I want to show you this tweet here, and let's discuss this because this is really interesting. All right. I don't mind the long grind of the season, but expanding. Okay, this isn't.
No, that's not. That's responding to what he said. What he said should be up at the top, right?
It's probably in here then. Okay. I love baseball, love it. And I just see no sound argument for why the season is still 162. Every league and media company in every industry is running to the streaming money, is consolidating their portfolio to be more cost efficient and maximizing demand. No one cares about 162 anymore. What are your thoughts, guys?
Is he talking about the game of baseball? Is that what he's trying to say?
No, football.
No, what I'm saying is he's not talking about the length. He's talking about baseball in general. That he's not talking about the length of the season. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he is.
It sounds like he's just talking about baseball, period.
No,
that's what it sounds like.
No, 162. He doesn't, no one cares about 162 anymore. So
that's bad. I don't like it.
Well, he's mentioning streaming. I mean, football games and baseball games are on more and more channels, Apple and all these, Jesus, you can't keep up with them. And some of them you don't have access to. Friday night game of the week is, I think, on Apple, and not everybody has that. So
there was another part.
Kind of what he's saying.
There's another part where he said, let me see if I can find it. It was, shoot, I'll have to go find it again. But he said the season in another post said it should be over by the middle of August. Playoffs should have.
No way.
I disagree with that take fully.
I don't like it.
If you looked at last year's postseason. It was rated. It was like one of the highest watched postseasons of all time. I plus if you're gonna make a season shorter, you can't. I mean, all of the records are never gonna be broken. There's gonna be like, it's just it's not. It's I don't think it's possible.
And for the sake of money, is that basically what he's saying? Is because of money?
No, he's saying everybody's streaming and it's.
But that's coming down to money, though, right? I mean, you're going to base a season just based on pure.
He's saying people are losing interest. The NFL's taking over now. Nobody cares.
The NFL is number one, and it always will be.
It always will be. But you know what? There is a renaissance this year. Attendance has gone up.
Yep.
And we're still.
I'll tell you one way you can take care of a little bit of that without compromising the 162.
Just started earlier.
See, the problem with baseball is they don't start earlier because of the cold. The East Coast is in March. How about if you started spring training earlier, say 3 weeks earlier, instead of starting in, mid-February around the 18th, 20th, start your spring training where you're not playing games yet, but you're playing, you report to camp in, let's say, mid-January, and you get in shape. And as soon as the Super Bowl is over, you play like, maybe even you play 10 exhibition games right after the Super Bowl ends. And then Major League Baseball, Super Bowl is usually like what, February 7th or something like that. When is the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Somewhere around. It's like
Super Bowl this year.
September or February.
It's the second Sunday in February 11th.
Yeah, from that point to what, March, right? There's
nothing going on in sports because you got March Madness is the next big moment after the Super Bowl. There's like a month and a half of delay of nothing. Baseball starts like late March, early April. Mm-hmm. So why not get to camp in Arizona and Florida? Hear me out on this. Arizona and Florida, and you start your practice and all your stuff, and you play some preseason games, get your guys shaped, make your rosters. You can do all that because nobody really gives a crap that much. And then spring training, you play, say, your 10 to 12 games, and then right after the Super Bowl, within 3 days, you take over with baseball starting in Arizona, real games in the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League because of weather. And you sacrifice a little bit of attendance, but you can get a jump start. And from February, like 14th until the end of March, you're playing real baseball. All right. Now it does. And then you go to your cities and you just shorten this, they would never go for it because of the gates, the amount of revenue that they would lose. But man, the attention on baseball, there's nothing on the calendar. What's that big of a deal after the Super Bowl?
March Madness.
Yeah, but that doesn't start until about the second or third week of March. You'd have a whole month to real baseball. And then how much? I mean, you could play games in a lot of the cities, but you just can't play most games on the East Coast because that's why I say if maybe some of the games just be in the Cactus League. It's a thought if you wanted to not shorten the season, but take advantage of being number one on the calendar. You're number one on the calendar for about a week when you start baseball, and that's about it. Because you know what happens right after baseball starts? Within a week or two, it's like all the NFL stuff's going on, the combine, the draft. The draft's usually in what, late April?
I guess, but
Mid to late
here's my counter. The NFL is always going to be bigger than the MLB. That's just the way it is. It's the way it's always going to be. The MLB has consistently made money on a rise for the past however many years. I just think there's no reason to really change anything, play with anything, just because, I mean,
You're probably right.
last
It's
year's
a-
statistics of the playoffs, the ratings were up. This year, the ratings are up.
Yeah.
People are
I
always
agree.
people are always gonna go over to football just because it's a faster played sport. It's a higher pace.
Yeah.
Baseball's
Yeah, but
baseball's a
we-
historic sport, but it's not necessarily the America's game as it used to be.
We brought this up some time ago. Baseball used to be the top game in America. They've done a poor job the last decade or so marketing their game. I don't even think they're number 2 anymore. I think the NBA's passed them up. The NBA does a better job at marketing the game.
Yeah. I mean,
and
you have
marketing their superstars.
yeah. And you got the NBA going on during those time period. The playoffs start in mid-April for the NBA. See, that's another thing. Right in the middle, as soon as baseball starts, you got the NBA playoffs starting around the 15th of April. So baseball, the other sports have stretched their leagues out further. And with the expansion of playoffs, longer games, days off, and they've learned to own the calendar because, let's face it, NBA is not conducive to weather, and the NFL could care less. They play their game right in the middle of winter, so their best football is in the coldest weather in the country in January, December and January. So it's,
I mean, the face of baseball until he got hurt was Ohtani. That's their superstar.
yeah.
But Acuna is a hell of a talent. And do you see anything advertising or marketing with him? Do you see him in any commercials at all?
Nope, and that's a problem because when's the last time you clicked on an ESPN article about baseball, or when's the last time you searched up on YouTube baseball and you saw ESPN talking about it? It's rare, and partially that responsibility is on ESPN, but that's also a responsibility on MLB's part for trying to have ESPN talk about it a little more. Because, I mean, you could pay ESPN or you could ask them to talk about it more. They're talking about football in the middle of baseball season. Like they could be talking about baseball, and you would larger your audience.
Well,
and baseball needs to, like you said, baseball needs to market itself with other big organizations and do cross marketing. You brought up Acuna, and the way you said Acuna made me think of something they could do. They ought to be doing commercials with Disney and the Lion King, and playing off that Hakuna Matata, and it's doing something, like Hakuna Matata, just playing that and make some kind of song. Get Disney, that whatever that character. What was that? A little what the heck was that? Wasn't a hyena? Whatever the little animal was. Get that thing up there with Ronald Acuna and have that song going. You'll attract kids. You'll attract kids to the game. Like, oh, they're playing Hakuna Matata. What's this about? And they're a play off of Ronald Acuna's and build that dude up. Build Ohtani up. They did it for a little while with Trout, but they did a horrible job of it. Build Freddie Freeman up. Build Mookie Betts up. Those guys are ambassadors of the game, and I don't care if they're in a Dodger uniform or not. Those are two very well-liked players with really a lot of class. They got this Roberto Clemente thing going now. All the things that each team has its own guy. The Giants representative is Crawford. Build up what these guys do in the communities and start marketing these guys all over. I mean, you got digital media now, and they don't take advantage of it. They do a really poor job of it. So
yeah, Brian brings up a great point. It's a sad truth, but more talking heads are discussing USA losing to Germany in the FIBA World Cup than baseball. That's true.
yeah.
Well, I think there's an underlying topic here that's more than marketing. The game is I just quite honestly think less and less kids, at least in America, are playing baseball. I think they prefer to play basketball and they prefer to play football. Why? Because it's more instant gratification. If you're a superstar basketball or football player, you get to the professional level and start making money right away. In baseball, even if you're really good, you got to pay your dues. Rookie league, single A, double A, triple A, then get to the major leagues.
And then you still have 4 years on your rookie contract.
There's less patient, and because everything, like I always talk about, is money, 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 money.
That's a great point. Yeah.
It's not a sport. I mean, it is a sport, but it is so much business now. It turns off a lot of people, diehard fans, people that even play the game, because it's become such a business. And I really think, I mean, I see it even in neighborhoods that I live in and just drive around. When me and Dan were growing up, like everybody played baseball. Not only on the field, but you played stickball in the streets. You played strikeouts in the playground. You just you drew a box.
Yep.
This is a good history lesson for you, Bora, 2004.
Mm-hmm.
You'd go to a playground and you draw a box and an X, and that was the strike zone. And you go one-on-one with your buddy with a tennis ball, and he would just pitch to you, get 3 outs, and then you'd go and pitch to him.
Oh, I remember doing this in my friend's backyard. We didn't have a solid wall, so we'd use a garbage can as a strike zone.
Yeah. I mean, and that was the game. I mean, it's a beautiful game, but I just think it has really taken a big hit the last.
Give me about 3 or 4 more months when I know this back is really good in shape. I'll take you to task, Los.
Let's go to the batting cages, please. Let's go.
Please film it.
Please.
I'm
gonna film that.
62-year-old man throws one by Los.
My God!
I'm going to come up.
Happening.
Yeah, first one. Just watch your chin. Just be careful.
You better not throw one up and in either.
Up and in. You'll be backing out, and I'll hit one on the outside corner, and be like.
Los, that's a great point, though, the instant gratification and money. Because look at Mike Yastrzemski. He got drafted at 20 years old, probably. He spent almost 10 years in the minors making like 40, 50,000 a year at best. And he gets called up to the majors. He's making 500,000 to $1 million. And then last year, how old is he? Like 32 or something?
Yeah.
Last year he makes like 6 million. That's going to be his max. And you know what? He's never going to get that multi-year contract. He's never going to get that big contract just because he's been rotting away in AAA, and he's never gotten the big league time.
Hey, what are you doing, Los? What are you doing Sunday for the Niner game?
Probably go to a friend's house down the block and watch the game.
So if you want to come over, watch the game. Graves, see you in the wiffle ball was a blast. Graves, you want to come over? I know he doesn't get the game. I got the game with Sunday ticket. So
nice.
You want to come over? It's early, 10 o'clock.
10 a.m. game. Yep.
But hit that like. We got 83 in the chat. Hit that like, guys. Don't forget to hit the like.
I think that when you go to the Latin American countries, they are now what baseball was in America 30, 40 years ago. The Latin players, the Latin countries, the kids are playing baseball.
Well, I'll tell you what, though.
No grass, all dirt.
Yep.
If they have a broom, they're swinging a bat. They're playing the game of baseball. I'm telling you.
But I'll tell you what, a lot of them are playing it because that's where the money is. And they know
for them.
Yes,
for
exactly. There is a lot of money that they know that they could get signed up for. You know, if they were working a 9-to-5 job in their home country, it's going to be pennies on a dollar, literally. They know that for the big leagues, that's their ticket to get to the United States and getting that big check.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying that there's no love for the game. I'm just saying that there could be some ulterior motives there down south.
Yeah,
but I do see but they have a lot of joy in the game, though.
Exactly.
Yeah, they have a lot more passion.
A lot of joy in the game. They purely love the game. Not that the kids here don't, but they just they don't.
That's why I said I want to see some of these people to put their money where their mouth is and go to the inner cities of the United States. I'm sure there's plenty of talent out there that could be developed. You just got to sink the money into it.
And I think a big problem is the superstars in baseball get played. The stars in baseball gets paid. The average to below average players, they don't get paid. They get chump change.
Well, look at the guys in the NBA, guys that are on the bench making $5 million a year.
Exactly. On
the end of the bench, some of the guys.
If you're in high school and you're like a star player and you get recruited to play Division I baseball, you have that opportunity to become a star. But if you're just that average player on the bench who doesn't get recruited, you don't get that shot, and you don't have that
good point, Arrow,
that drive to really play, because at best you're gonna be a below average to average player making $500,000 at most.
Well, just to kind of prove my point even more, look at the black player in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. They were dominant. I could name all the superstar black players that were in Major League Baseball. Now look at the game today. Are there still some out there? Of course.
There's a handful. There's Mookie Betts, and
the Giants didn't have a black player on their team for a long time. It was, I think they had a guy that was a pinch runner, but they didn't have.
But they ended up with Mays and McCovey, and then they had Bonds
before that Monte Irvin.
The Giants were an international team. Their team was blacks and Hispanics.
Dominicans.
But just the young black players now, they're going to go to basketball and football. It's more instant gratification. It's more an athletic sport, and it's a shame because some of the greatest players in baseball history.
Senior makes a good point. The size of the roster does make a difference. NBA, you don't have as many players in the system as say baseball.
15 to 17.
Yeah, that's my point, Haruku. It is a longer process, and let's face it, society in general is less patient today than it is.
Tell me about it.
Back then you paid your dues and you did what you had to do to get to the mountaintop, and today, again, I'm talking kind of in general. Just you don't see a lot of patience. They want it
now.
They want to graduate from college and make $150,000 a year the very next year. They don't want to go and make a little bit and work their way up. That's not everybody, but I'm just saying, like our generation, like
it was different.
What we had to do to climb that mountaintop.
Hey, if you're
good point, Los.
Yep.
Not Will B. Will Martinez. You were in the chat earlier. Check your email. Sent you an email. Let me know your thoughts, Will. I want to get this done if possible. Let me see if I sent that to you. Yeah. Respond to my email, or we could chat in the
I think some deals are coming down here. That's what it sounds like. Some wheeling and dealing.
Never know.
Mm-hmm.
Do
we want to finish up the show on the Niners? I'm getting asked about the
there we go. Game. It's up there on the board for you. Lowe's thoughts on Niners game.
I think people are underestimating the Steelers. They are a really, really good team. If I'm being asked right now, even with Bosa on the field, my heart will say the Niners will win 27-17. My brain, which is what I usually say my thoughts on here and in life in general, I think the Steelers win this game. I think they win like 21-17, something like that. I just think that It's going to be raining, so the weather's not going to be great.
Is it supposed to be raining?
50-50 chance that it's going to be raining.
Wow.
Shoot.
Jack,
They're
that
flying
Chicago.
all the way to they're flying all the way to the East Coast. The Niners historically start very slowly. And one thing I read about today that really kind of pushed me towards the Steelers is Tomlin played all his starters all 3 preseason games.
I was just about to say that.
Old school, where they are.
I hate that. I hate when they don't
They're
play.
actually playing the game. They're getting used to it. I know everybody says, "Oh, Bosa came in. He's going to be in shape. He's this. He's a rock. He's built like Adonis." Blah 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 blah. I get it, but it's still not playing the game of football. And the Steelers have been playing in 3 preseason games. Their starters played more. So I think the Niners will get off to their typical sluggish start.
It's a 10 a.m. start for them, really, on the
and
clock.
It's an early start. That doesn't help either. I hope I'm wrong. But my brain tells me. Oh, and the other thing is, their kicker is a known commodity, kicking in his home field that he's knows how to kick and knows the angles and everything and hash marks.
Oh, that's a horrible field to kick in the winds.
We have a rookie kicker who has been hurt the last few weeks, kicking in the rain at one of the hardest stadiums to play in. So don't be surprised if it's a close game at the end. Moody comes in and shanks a 42-yarder. Again, hope I'm wrong. That's what my brain's saying, not my heart.
Yep. I'm going to go with the Steelers win 23-21 on a missed field goal by Jake Moody to end the game. I think Najee Harris is going to have a pretty good game. His last 2 seasons, he's been below average. He hasn't been great, but reports are that in camp he's been pretty good. And I think Jaylen Warren is really good. So that 1-2 punch is going to be really good. The Niners have historically, over the past few seasons, with that wide 9 defense, they've let more mobile quarterbacks be able to escape the pocket and extend plays. And George Pickens scares me because the 49ers don't have a true ball hawk corner that will really play the wide receiver and pick the ball. And if George Pickens is ever on Diamador Lenore, that really scares me because he's a contested catch wide receiver. And Lenore's like 5'9", 5'10" at best. So that really scares me in the Niners run defense. That's my main thing. It wasn't good in preseason. They don't have great depth. They just released another depth guy today, Austin Bryant, for Nick Bosa. And I don't think this one thing that I don't think anybody's really talking about. Nick Bosa was signed Wednesday or Thursday?
Wednesday.
Yeah.
He got in at Wednesday night from Florida. That's what, a 6-hour flight. 2 days later, he's flying to Pittsburgh. That takes a toll on you. You guys shouldn't just throw that under the bus. That's a big thing.
And how crazy is this that despite the Niners not really playing their starters at all in the preseason, they're injured more than the Steelers going into this game, and at key positions. Moody Ward is banged up. Gibson is banged up. Hufanga is banged up.
Yeah.
Who am I missing? Somebody else. Kittle's banged up.
Kittle. Yep.
I mean, again, here we go again with the Niners injuries. Like all these guys are questionable. So even if they play, they're not going to be 100%.
Nope.
You don't want three guys in your secondary are hurt already.
And you're playing in the rain, which doesn't help.
Which is slipping and footing is not good. And the Steelers got weapons. And if you're underestimating the Steelers, you're sadly mistaken.
Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. He's never had a losing season as long as he's been the Steelers head coach. They're prepared. Kenny Pickett played 5 drives in the preseason. They scored 5 touchdowns. And I know that's just preseason, but that's impressive. I'm expecting Kenny Pickett to make a pretty good jump from where he was last year. And the Niners start out slow every year. They do. The one year that they didn't, was 2019, and they went to the Super Bowl where they got the 1 seed. And while I think that they are making that a priority, Debo said they want the 1 seed. I just don't know if they're gonna be prepared. They might be prepared mentally, but I don't know if they're prepared physically, just because they haven't played those preseason games. The starters played like 3 drives max in the preseason. That's not a lot. And football is a rough game. It takes a toll on you, and
they did the same thing the last few years. They don't. I mean, that's Shanahan's philosophy. That's fine. I mean, I get it. You don't want to get guys injured in the preseason, but at the same time, they came out last year, and I don't give a crap what the weather was like against a bad Bears team, and that Bears team outplayed them.
I'm going to take a different approach than you guys. I'm going to say, even though the Niners are a little banged up with a few guys,
quite a bit banged up.
Yeah, but this is a veteran team. They know they lost game 1 last year. They know they won game 2. The game Trey went down. Then they lost game 3 to Denver on Monday Night Football. And then they I believe this team knows that it's an uphill climb, knows they dug themselves a hole last year. I think they would love to face Philly in the NFC Championship in Levi's. And I think they're going to come out with a focus. And I don't think it's the defense that wins the game. I think it's the offense puts up 30-plus points and shocks Pittsburgh's defense. I think you're going to see some precision with McCaffrey and Purdy and Debo and Ayuk. I think all 3 of those players have big games, and the Niners win 31-24.
Wow, high-scoring game in the rain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think.
And that's what I was just going to say. If you take rain in consideration, do you think that CMC has a bigger game than anyone else because of the rain?
Well, he knows where he's going.
The footing is not as good, so McCaffrey relies on speed and cuts, and if it's a slippery field, then no.
But sometimes you have the advantage because you know where you're going and the defense doesn't.
Right, true.
The Niners are the better team. They have more talent, for sure. I'm just looking at the intangibles here. Here's one huge advantage the Niners have. Their quarterback has large hands. For a smaller guy, he has big hands. Pickett has very small hands. I think they're 8.5.
Yeah, and he wears gloves.
I remember coming out in the draft. That was the one big knock on him is he has really small hands. So in the rain, if they can get any heat on him at all and hit him, he might fumble. This might be a big turnover game on both sides because, hey, Pittsburgh's D is good. Somebody in here said I'm picking the Niners D or Pittsburgh's D over the Niners, the Steelers. No, but the Steelers D is top 7, top 8 for sure.
It could, for sure. It could be a top 5
Watt
defense.
is coming from that right side, guys. And Colton McKivitz is not that
with the rain, it could be a 17-13 type game. But I'm just thinking that the Niners have to almost like a surgeon, just precisely go down the field and just keep long drives and score. And they need to, if they have, what's a typical game, 9 to 10 possessions, about 10 possessions maybe.
Yeah, give or take 10 to 12. I would love to see the Niners.
They need to score on 5 of the possessions.
I would love to see the Niners old school, like they used to do back in the day. I would love to see them take the opening drive down and score a touchdown and then get 3 and out immediately and then get the ball back. that's the 49er team I grew up on.
Exactly.
They just came out and hit you in the mouth. Bill Walsh always would say that. He would always use analogies about boxing. We're going to be the first one to hit. We're going to be the first one to get off. When I watched this Niner team, like last year, they played the Bears, and it wasn't raining yet. They went right down the field, and Debo fumbled.
Yep.
And then the next game,
that sort of set the tone for the whole.
They went right down the field, and then the next game, and there was a few penalties, and they kicked the field goal. Hey, man, this ain't negative. Somebody in the chat said I'm being negative. This is what I'm observing. This is what I see in a Shanahan team. Like, he lets games kind of just hang around. If the Niners are serious, I'm going to know in that first quarter. I'm going to see on that opening drive. If they go 3 and out, or they stall like they always do, or they settle for a field goal, then it's going to be a close game.
How many?
If they go right down the field and score a touchdown and get a 3 and out, I'm going to say, oh, okay, here we go. The more talented team is going to show up.
How many series did the starters play in the third preseason game? 2 series?
If that, yeah, 2. I think some guys got out after 2 series and some stayed in.
I don't know what it is with these. Yeah, I mean, I remember when they used to have 4 games a few years ago, and I came out here and I was down here and watched Arizona play. I mean, Green Bay come into Arizona. It was the third preseason game. And it was like, okay, they treated it like a real game. The first team played the entire first half. Aaron Rodgers and they went up and they scored in bunches. It was like 28-7 or something at halftime. And I think they might even played the little bit of the third quarter, and then they rested them the fourth game, their starters. But those guys had got in full game. I don't know why. I mean, Kyle does that every year. Seems like, second game, the second game, they should be playing, even the third game, they should be playing at least the full first quarter, at least 2 full drives, get those guys. I mean, you got 2 weeks between the games. My goodness.
I forget the name of the wide receiver that used to play with the Patriots, a smaller guy, came
Edelman.
out. What's that?
Edelman.
Him or the other one that's almost like his twin?
Oh, the one that was the coach for the Niners, the receivers coach.
Wes Walker.
Welker,
yeah.
Or
So
Amendola.
he came out and said that with Belichick, even in preseason, like their practices they're old school. They hit a lot in practice. And, I think that toughens you up and gets you ready when the season actually starts. A lot of the reason why the Niners get off to bad starts and slow starts is
I hate that, man.
I don't think they hit a lot in training camp. I think a lot of their practices are in shorts without pads. I know the NFL labor agreement doesn't allow them to do it as much.
It's stupid. When you look at college football. Look at college football. Week 1, how many times have you seen a monster game in week 1 where number 1's playing number 3 or something? And it's like, I mean, it's a big game. There's no preseason games if you're going for a national championship, right? In college football, you got to hit and when we played in high school and when my 1 year of college football, there was no preseason games. Maybe they were non-conference games, but it counted. And it was a real football game. We had to hit, man. And it, coaches got you hitting after like the first week, and it was like rough, but you got all that soreness out of you. You worked it out. And I got a question for Dondini Montefusco. Is that your real name, or is that a stage name? Because
are you related to the Count?
Are you related to the Count? Number 26, my favorite player as a 14, 15-year-old in Babe Ruth on the mound. I called myself the Count.
That sidearm delivery.
Yep.
Hey, Louis, what is the deal with not being able to practice? What precipitated that? Injury?
Yeah, they don't want injuries.
The players union came out years ago.
Can't practice?
A lot of players complained, so they got it in the contract that they couldn't, I think, hit with pads on in practice for more than 2 days in a row. That third day because football players, unlike baseball and basketball players, even now their contract is not fully guaranteed.
Yeah.
So if they get hurt in practice, that's taking away their livelihood. So and concussions. You're right, Senior.
Yeah. What do you think of those helmets they wear in practice?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
They're pretty funky looking helmets, but why not wear them in the games?
Yeah,
if they really help you from getting a concussion,
why not wear it during the game? Yeah.
I'm surprised, like as much advancement as there is, that they haven't developed like an inside pad or something for the helmet, so it could take less, wear and tear on physical hits. Because these guys, man, they hit. I mean,
where'd you
they
pull
don't hit
that
as often as they did back in the day as far as practice and preparation, but they might be physically in better shape. And when Sunday does come, and the hitting is for real, they're not ready for it. And that's why you see a lot of injuries in the first part of the season.
What was that thing you sent me, Romo, on the what player was that knocked some guy over and just playing around? Didn't you send it?
Oh yeah. What was it? It was from
who was
the
that?
same people who it was the John Boy people. Yeah, that guy got flattened. I think I sent it to you too, Carlos. I think I sent it to you, all three of you, where they were just messing around with football, and the guy got the ball and he flattened out. You see that guy go.
Los, you were talking about setting the tone, though. You know who set the tone on Thursday? Dan Campbell, when he did the fake punt. That's how you set a tone. That's how you set the tone for your team.
Loved it.
That's what I want Kyle to do. If your offense is struggling, you got to come up with something creative. You got to do something.
Kyle won't do that.
Yeah, he won't. But you got to tell your team that you want to win this game, and tell your team that you can compete. Because that let his team know that he's going to do everything he can to compete in this game and fight for his team.
49er, you're wrong. I used to have connections with the 49ers when I lived in the Bay Area. I went to a lot of practices. I know how the routine is. I know how they scale it back. So you're wrong, buddy. Doesn't mean anything in the context of game one, but you're wrong about that. Don't assume. I know the Niners schedule.
Los, what are your keys to the game?
I can't wait to see Bosa and Hargrave rush the passer right next to each other.
Is that rain going to affect that?
It
That's
could.
what I was on. Yeah.
It could. Rain always affects like speed rushers. Bosa's more of a power rusher, so I can't wait to see those two guys. The key to the game is going to be what it always is with the Niners: getting off to a good start and turnovers. If they don't turn the ball over, I think they win the game pretty easily, but I do expect them to turn it over. I don't know. Just something tells me weather or something's going to have weird things happen week one. You just never know. It's not a good week to bet football because you just don't know what you're going to get out of teams.
Week one, yeah.
And here's one thing that I've brought up before I was co-hosting this show. I would go on other people's shows and I'd bring up something that is not talked about very often, is that most coaches, especially, coaches that have defensive-minded teams, when they win the coin toss, they always defer. And I know what the theory is. If we get the ball at the end of the first half and get in the second half, we're going to double score. Well, there's no guarantee you're going to end the first half with the ball. Again, I hate to keep referring back to Walsh. I don't want to sound like a Walsh honk, but I kind of am. You know what Walsh's philosophy is? If we win the toss, we're taking the ball. We're going to dictate to you, and we're going to go down the field, and we're going to score, and it's going to be 7-0.
Right.
Automatically. Shanahan should have did that in the NFC Championship against the Eagles. He won the toss, and he deferred. He deferred, and he thought his defense was going to stop the Eagles, and technically they did if he had overturned the call and flagged it, but he did.
Oh, the ball that wasn't the catch,
Yeah.
you mean?
If Shanahan wins the coin toss against the Steelers, I guarantee you he's deferring.
I still put that on Shanahan for not throwing the count.
That's 100% on Shanahan. Yeah,
He's
I
going
don't know
to
why,
defer.
and I still that when I haven't thought about it since it happened.
No, here goes Dan.
Now.
PTSD.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
it ticked me off because it's like this is the NFC Championship game. You don't want to get down to, and if you're not sure, you should have known.
Or call a timeout or something.
Yes, call timeout, exactly. And then you have time. You saw Devontae running like crazy.
Right.
Go to the line, go to the line, go to the line.
Why? Hufanga, look at the replay.
Yeah, exactly.
Trust your player. Trust your freaking player, Shanahan.
I have never.
This goes back to the question I asked. Remember about Shanahan having trust in his players? Dan, that's what it goes to, right? He didn't trust Hufanga out there.
Well, I don't know if he saw him, didn't see him, but I said, this is what I said. I blame two people on that play. I blame Shanahan and I blamed Hufanga. And let me tell you why I blamed Hufanga. He had a clear shot at it. He saw the ball hit the ground. He was going like this. Call timeout. Have the kahunas say, you know what? It hit the ground, Kyle. Call timeout. The worst thing that can happen is you're down one timeout in the first half. But that was such a critical point, and I guarantee you, Ronnie Lott would have called timeout. A veteran, that was a young player who maybe didn't have the belief that or the confidence that he needed to have. But if you're sure of that, you call timeout, even if you're not the captain. You just say timeout or whatever. You got to fall down, fake, my knee's hurting. You don't, call Fred Warner. Fred, timeout, man. Call timeout. That was hit the ground. That 98% of that was on Hufanga because he had the clearest shot. And you got to be able to give your players you got to trust enough in your players to say, okay, you see something, you go into a big game like that, you got to take the crowd out of the game. And that would have been
fourth down, right? That was fourth down.
It was fourth down. And they would have taken the ball possibly totally different outcome. Maybe Purdy doesn't even get hurt that game. You don't know. It goes back to those two biggest letters in sports. What if? But biggest blunder in my view and I was all over Hufanga on that. I love the kid. He's a great player, but come on, just call a timeout. You got to be able to think with your head. How much of the game is mental versus physical in any sport, Los?
Huge part of the game.
Okay. Mentally prepare and think with your head. The smartest players are ahead of what's happening, and you got to think with your head and say, going into the game, you got to be thinking of situations. Okay, we're in a hostile crowd. We may get screwed on a call here or there. I'm going to be mentally prepared. Be mentally prepared.
And
really,
it's that until Shanahan wins the Super Bowl, he's going to get criticized for a lot of his coaching in some of the biggest games the Niners have had.
Yep.
There's been mental mess ups in every one of them. I don't need to go into detail. You guys know what they are.
Yeah, just the mental part of the game. I was not I was a really good baseball outfielder. I was a really pretty good kicker. I was pretty good basketball player, but I wasn't like the star. But where I excelled was in the mental aspect of the game. I saw things differently than most players because I started it so young, like at 4, and I had 2 older brothers. I'll go back to this. I'm calling timeout if I'm Hufanga, if I see that. And if I got to take the heat that I was wrong and Kyle does throws the flag and wants a review and it does, and I'm dead wrong, you know what? I'll live with that because it only cost the team a timeout.
In the first half, all right?
In the first half, yeah.
Exactly. I'll live with that. But doggone it, I'm not going down and letting something I saw with my own eyes let that go. And to let that go is a mental error. And the best teams that win a championship always have one or two guys that are mentally sharper than the other teams.
It's not always about the physical aspect.
Right.
It's high IQ. You got to have physical players, but you got to have smart players too that know the game. And in sports in general, it's not always about who the better team is. I've said it. The Niners are a better team, man for man, than the Steelers are. It's who plays better that day. Right now, if I have to choose who's going to be a better game day coach between Tomlin and Shanahan,
Tomlin all day.
Oh, yeah.
Tomlin, I'm taking Tomlin, man. Tomlin, if it's a close game and he's at midfield, 4th and 1, and he's setting up to punt, Tomlin will fake punt and have the balls to go do that, go down and kick a game-winning field goal. Shanahan's punting every time.
Yep.
Shanahan does not have the cojones to fake a field goal, fake a punt, onside kick, not late in the game when you need to get the ball back, like Dan Campbell did. Dan Campbell knew that the Chiefs were the better team, that he was on the road. And he went for it on 4th and 2. He punted and fake punted on his own 20-yard line in the first quarter.
That's insane. That's unheard of.
That Sean Payton onside kick to start the second half of a Super Bowl, and it was a close game against the Colts. That is nuts. Shanahan, until I see otherwise, he doesn't do that. He does not do that.
Nope. I'm going to give my key to the game. It's how well can you neutralize Cameron Hayward? The Niners have always been able to neutralize Aaron Donald, and I just think it's their scheme. Aaron Donald is big, but he's not necessarily tall. He's like 6'1", and the Niners have always been able to neutralize him.
Yeah, with mediocre centers.
Yep, for that reason. Whenever they face Chris Jones,
big dominant guys,
he goes off. Whenever they face these huge defensive tackles, they control the game and they ruin the Niners' game plan. If
Bill Walsh's line,
if Cameron Hayward,
Bob McKittrick,
if Cameron Hayward has a big game, the Niners are not going to win this game. They need to be able to neutralize him. And he's 6'5". He's big. He could be a future Hall of Famer. He's probably a future Hall of Famer. He is a really good player. He's probably a top 50 player in the league. That Steelers front is really good.
Here's a question.
That's my key.
I know there's a lot of discussion right before the first preseason game and then afterwards is the confidence you guys have in the O-line. What do you think? You guys still have confidence in O-line to protect Purdy?
I have confidence in 4 of their starters.
Okay.
I do not have a lot of confidence in Colt McKivitz.
Really, McKivitz is actually better than McGlinchey as a pass blocker. They say he's just not as good in the run game.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
He's going to be tested.
JJ Watt
against TJ Watt. I guarantee you, if Shanahan's as smart as I think he is, I say some things against him that he doesn't do this and he doesn't do that, but I know he's a smart coach. I hope to God he has a tight end on that side. Probably not Kittle, probably Charlie.
What would Bill Walsh do?
Against
JJ Watt.
Against JJ Watt?
Or that's what's his brother, not TJ Watt. TJ.
Bill Walsh would, first of all, Bill Walsh had to go up against the 80.
Lawrence Taylor.
About the 85 Bears.
Lawrence Taylor, he went up against.
And Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, he went up against the monster.
What did he do to those guys, though?
He would have the quarterback do 3-step drops all day.
Yes, but he also, a lot of times he went right at him early.
He would run what are called dive plays at the defensive end. And he would make them run defenders, and he would wear them down.
Yep.
He would run them down. He would do this to Lawrence Taylor. He would have Bubba Paris, who was pretty big at the time. He would hit Lawrence Taylor, and then he'd have either the fullback or the tight end go in motion. So 2 guys were hitting their best player.
Yeah, Joe never played in the shotgun for the 49ers that I recall. It was just
three step drop and the ball's out.
You know, that really concerns me because in that I need to see Kyle not call 7-step drops for Purdy
and play action.
He called that. He called a couple 7-step drops for Purdy in the preseason, and there was one play that it was pretty close to a repeat of the NFC Championship game where the defender was really close to hitting Purdy's arm. As against this defensive line, you do not call any 7-step drops because Purdy will get obliterated.
That crowd is going to be very loud.
Yep.
Steeler fans are amongst the best in the league.
Oh,
they love their team. That is a tough environment. If the Niners come out and they get the ball first and they go down the field and score a touchdown, I will be like, okay, these boys came to play today. I will be a little surprised if that happens, but we shall see. They got to protect Purdy. They got to have a smart game plan. To Dan's point, if you want to take TJ Watt a little bit out of the game, run right at him and hit him with 2 guys on every play. You may not get maybe a lot of yards on the play, but you got to keep hitting him because if you just let him rush the passer, I don't care if McKivitz is better than McGlinchey. That's not saying much. Yeah. That's like saying, hey man, I went from a C- to a C+. You still ain't shit.
I think Shanahan might put Kittle next to McKivitz, and I'm expecting Kittle to not have a great game or
catching the ball because he's going to be too busy.
What about Warner?
Is Kittle going to even play?
Warner's a pretty good blocker, right?
Charlie Warner's a good blocker, nothing else.
Yeah, but they use him as a protection
probably.
Piece.
You know, I'm not 100% on board of the Spencer Burford train. I need to see him make that sophomore step.
I like Burford. He put on weight and strength. I think
he did, but I just need to see it because last year he wasn't playing full games. He was rotating in and out with Daniel Brunskill. I have the confidence that he will get better and he will be able to play the whole game just because he worked so hard in the offseason. But I just need to see it with my eyes because he was not playing the whole games and he was getting tired.
Hey, is Khalil Davis on the practice squad?
No, he's on the 53.
Did he make the 53?
Mm-hmm.
He's good.
If he's active, put that dude in the backfield. Have you seen that guy? They showed some film of him before the draft last year. He was catching passes and like he was
that was Poe. That was Jason.
Well, that was Poe. That's right.
Yeah,
Poe. Did he make the practice squad or is he gone?
I think he made the practice squad. Yeah.
Yeah. Put that dude in a game someday as a fullback and just either let him be the lead blocker or make him the fridge. Just give him the ball and let him run through the right.
Oh, he's good to go.
Haruku, you're kind of like ripping on the Steelers here a little bit, but you got to remember, like they started the season with a different quarterback. Once they put Pickett into the lineup, I believe they won 7 out of their last.
They started the season 1-6. They ended the season like 9-8 or something.
Did they get to 9-8 or were they 8-9?
They won 7 out of 9 with Pickett, and as he got to learn the offense, he throws the ball downfield. He is mobile. The Steelers are going to be a playoff team this year. If they stay healthy, absolutely they're going to be a playoff
team. Do not underrate them. They are really good.
Yeah. I think a lot of you guys are underestimating the Steelers. You're doing what some of the Giants fans do, especially
they finished 9-8
You're
last
focusing
year.
on your team only. You're just focusing on this, my team. You need to scout and look at the other team and what they bring to the table. And they are at home opening game. So this is not going to be a cakewalk. Niners could very easily win.
They could very easily lose if they have a bad start. And because the thing with the Niners is they're not built to play from behind. They're not Mahomes. They're not they don't have Josh Allen. They don't have Herbert. They don't have Burrow. They don't have that drop back passing game and we're going to throw, can you stop it? Because Brock Purdy isn't that guy. They are the type of team to play from ahead, use the play action passing game, and sort of deceive you
If they get down early, especially in the rain, it's going to be really tough to come back.
Haruku's convinced he's got Purdy 30 plus, but Haruku, remember, Brock was putting up 30 points plus. Then he played Dallas, and then he played the Eagles. When he played a good defense, that those windows were a little tighter.
Mm-hmm.
What did he do? He didn't do so good. So I wouldn't count on the Niners putting up over 30, even though Dan has them at 31. It might get a pick six, or if the Niners score over 30, I will be completely shocked.
Yeah, Dan, I'll give you $10 if they do that.
It's just a gut. Now that I was kind of thinking it all week, but then the rain, so I'm going to stick with it. I didn't realize it was going to rain. Odds are with the rain, if there is a lot of rain, probably won't do it. But if somehow it stays relatively dry, even though it's a solid defense, I just think the Niners offense this year is going to be, if talk about the team is built by the defense, right? I mean, it's known for it's Bosa, it's Warner, it's Greenlaw, it's the secondary, it's Armstead, and then Hargrave. It's this defense. Everybody's saying it's the number one defense, and the offense is going to be right up there. But the offense has been in Kyle's era for being a offensive guru. It has been pretty it's been somewhat stale, in my opinion. I just think they need to go back to the Walsh years of, Montana and Young. And I remember those teams putting up 40 on a consistent basis.
Consistent.
I mean, come on. Just take it, put the pedal to the metal. And you're playing in an offensive era where quarterbacks cannot touch you, and they can't bump guys, none of that. They can't hit the quarterback. They should be going up and down the field. And the other thing that really infuriates me about the Niners is I want to see more of the hurry up. Other teams, Kansas City, Buffalo, see other teams come out and they just Philadelphia, whatever. They just decide, you know what? We're going in 2-minute offense mode, and we're going to score, get the ball back, score again. And once you're up in the NFL by 2 scores, it's all of a sudden it's like a 3-4 run lead going into the 8th inning in baseball.
You know what the difference between those teams and the Niners offense is?
Well, obviously
anybody?
Well, I think it's the innovation of, the guts of the head coaches is one, but it's the quarterback.
Well, that and those teams have quarterbacks that can make big plays.
It's the quarterback.
Big plays over the top. For the Niners to score, more than likely they have to methodically go down the field and have a 7 to 10 play drive, because
and that is the exact reason. That's the exact reason why I don't think they're ever going to win a Super Bowl with
because they don't have the capability of hitting a 50 to 70 yard bomb.
I want to see that. I want to see that.
There's no fear in that.
So
you want to know why the Niners don't score 40 points consistently? Because they always have to do 8, 10, 12 play drives, and somewhere along the way there's a sack or a penalty, slows them down. They got to punt or they got to settle for a field goal.
Yeah, exactly. Can Darnold be that guy?
In Shanahan's era, since he's been the head coach, how many big touchdowns have you seen? How many 60 to 70 yard touchdowns over the top?
Not many. They're
not many.
not the
Exactly.
It's all their big gains are yak. They're all yak.
And you don't think the Steelers don't know that? You don't think they look at the film?
That's exactly how Dallas played.
They know the Niners cannot beat them over the top. Do you guys
understand
go
one-on-one?
That's why you keep saying like the Steelers are not a great defense. They're going to see that Purdy cannot throw a 60 or 70 yard bomb up top. Everything is going to be intermediate and short, just like Jimmy. He's a better version of Jimmy. He's more accurate than Jimmy. He's more mobile than Jimmy, but he still does the same thing that Jimmy does, which is not throw deep effectively. And when you cannot throw deep effectively, that's why you don't score 40
And
points.
your offense is one-dimensional.
Can Darnold be that guy if he gets called into action?
Darnold has a better arm than Purdy, but I don't think he's a better quarterback.
Exactly.
Than
he does. Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
I think Purdy's definitely the better quarterback for Kyle's system and what Kyle wants to do, which is the crossing routes, the timing routes. Clear out this, clear out that, but he doesn't throw the ball downfield. This offense is perfect for what Purdy can do, and he's really, really good at it. But again, you have to have 8 to 10 play drives. Everything has to go perfectly, and then you score a touchdown.
Yep.
Again, that's what Buffalo has big strike capability. Kansas City has big strike capability. Cincinnati has big strike capability. They all have quarterbacks that can hurt you and beat you deep. And Brandon Ayuk, if he had a big arm quarterback, Brandon Ayuk would be a monster.
That's exactly why.
One last thought.
Go ahead.
One last thought. Sorry. Yesterday in the show with Baller, we were saying that me and Baller watched the all 22 film, which is, not the TV version, watching every player. And I'm telling you, I saw Brandon Ayuk so many times beat his defender deep. I mean, by a good 5 to 7 yards, put his hand up in the air. The ball never went his way. So if you're watching that on film and you're like, damn, this dude's getting open and they never throw it to him. Oh, we don't have to worry about that. That makes an average defense good against you, and that makes a really good defense great against you because you don't have to defend that part of the field.
All right,
that's exactly why I think Brandon Ayuk is not going to get the second contract with this team. Because if you plug in Ayuk on the Vikings, I think he puts up similar numbers to Justin Jefferson. Now, Justin Jefferson is better. Yeah, let's get that out of the way. But Ayuk, the type of wide receiver that Ayuk is, it doesn't fit the Niners system. It really doesn't. He needs a quarterback like that can throw down the field. And Ayuk's style of play just doesn't necessarily fit with the Niners type of offense. So I think unless they really pay him what he wants, I think he's gone.
D-Shot 316 just said, Bora, and I quote, Purdy made more deep passes than Mahomes. That might be the most asinine comment I've seen in here in a long time. Do you know how many deep balls Mahomes hits year after year? Show me the 60-yard pass that Purdy scored for a touchdown. Not a 10-yard slant where he broke a bunch of tackles. Show me the pass where he hit a 60, 70-yard bomb, and I'll show you about 20 Mahomes passes. Come on, dude. Come in better than that.
Let me do this here real quick. I want to go to a Twitter poll real quick, and then I want to close. Get this ready. Get your thinking caps on. We're going to close with 5 bold takes in the NFL season this year. 5 bold takes from each of you. So let me read this poll to you guys here. First of all, here is the poll. Would you rather see the Giants get hot enough in the final 22 games to make the playoffs, only to lose in the wild card round, or continue to falter and miss the playoffs and fire Farhan and Gabe? We've got 104 votes so far. 68%.
You know my vote, man.
Well, get out there and vote. I want to get these votes up. It's on Twitter for another 20 hours or so, but like to get it. Hopefully we can get 200, 300 votes. But look at that. Over 2/3 would rather they miss the playoffs. Now, some people got on me and said, well, how about 2010 and 14? And, I had to tell people, look, let me state the obvious here. Any Giants fan would desire to see the Giants make the playoffs and somehow win the World Series. But this poll is based on reality and is worded in such a way to gauge the pulse of the fan base. If one of the options was to win the World Series, it wouldn't be a real poll. I mean, come on. Everybody would select win the World Series. I mean, right. Even I would if Yeah, I'll take winning the World Series and keeping Farhan on for another few years. If he wins the World Series, why not? I mean, come on. And then one other thing I want to show you guys is I asked Buster in spring training this past year. I asked him, let me go back to this.
Did you say Buster?
Yeah, my dog Buster.
Oh. Hey, real quick on that topic. Remember 6 weeks ago when there was so much excitement about Buster Posey coming back?
Yeah, that all just faded away. Yeah.
Silence.
Yep.
Nothing. Zero. Not a peep from
the
him.
only thing that came out was he wants to go finish his degree.
Yeah. So here we go. I'm going to play Buster here, and we're going to see what. Let me get this on a little bit louder here. Get this. All right, here we go.
Buster boy, come here. Come here, Buster. Good boy. You good boy? That's a good boy. How the Giants gonna do this year? How the Giants do it? Oh, Buster boy, come here. Come here, Buster.
There it was. The caption read.
You good boy.
The caption read, "If I would have, I should have known that the Giants were going to put us to sleep this year." So yeah, there it is. Buster. Next year, he's like the Farmer's Almanac. You know, what is it? Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. Yep.
I'll just ask Buster what's going to happen. So
let me, if I may, Dan, just make one last point on the Niners. I just see a few things in the chat. First of all, me and Bor are not hating on the Niners.
No.
We both love the team, want them to win. We are analyzing like this matchup against the Steelers. We don't want them to lose. This is a different scenario than the Giants. We love their management. We want them to win. I would love nothing better. How about this? How about the Niners, the first play of the game, hand off to McCaffrey. Oh, my God, it's a flea flicker to Purdy. He throws it 60 yards downfield to Ayuk, and it's a touchdown. You guys are all going to be in here saying, F you, Los, F you, Los, F you, Los. You can't throw it deep. Great. I hope that happens, okay? I hope that happens. I hope he proves me wrong. Nobody
I hope they win. I hope they win every
Nobody hates on Purdy. I think he's a hell of a quarterback. Yeah. All we're saying, and I know Hensley talks about this, but just use your eyes, guys. Use your eyes. Stop thinking with your heart. Stop thinking, oh, I love my Niners. I love my Niners. I love my Niners. Just use your eyes and say, yeah, Purdy doesn't throw deep very often. Or Shanahan doesn't like that. That's a fact. We're not talking and we're not making things and blowing things out of our ass. That's a fact. He does not throw deep. Does it really matter in the scheme of things? No, he's still a hell of a quarterback. We're just saying that limits you, and against good defenses like Pittsburgh, it could cause issues. I hope the Niners blow them out, and you guys will come in here Monday and rip me a new one. I hope it happens, but that's just what I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm talking with this, not with this. Bora, you want to add anything to that?
No, yeah, we're not Brock haters or anything. We're analyzing the game from a neutral perspective. We're not trying to homer it up. We want the Niners to win a Super Bowl, but at the same time, we're looking at the game from a neutral perspective and from a football fan perspective, not just as a 49er fan perspective. Brock has limitations. He played a great 7-8 games last year, like really good. We're not denying that, but a lot of people just want to see him carried on to this year. He had UCL surgery. All right. That's not a small thing. He had UCL surgery on his elbow, his throwing elbow. Like, that's not a little thing. That's a huge deal. And he came back early from that. I would love for him to win MVP and lead the league in passing and all the statistics. But I'm just looking at it like trying to be real. Like, he has limitations. This offense has some limitations. And of course we want to see him win, but we also want to be real.
Yeah, and for the record, Val Ramos and 49er and Haruku, who are kind of bashing me and Bora. For the record, I do have the Niners winning 11 to 12 games and going to the Super Bowl. So I just think that they're going to lose a close game to Pittsburgh. That's it. Okay?
Mark Hope with $5.
Hope that makes you feel a little bit better that I'm not hating on the 49ers because I'm analyzing them the correct way. Sorry about that, guys. You should know by listening to me.
I like that voice. I like that voice.
That was a good voice.
I'll call out the Giants.
That was the
when they
Farhan.
messed up. Yeah. When my kids acted up, they got an earful, and when they did good, I patted them on the back.
They're not going 19-0 or 20-0 and walking away with the Lombardi. Los is saying they're going to win 11, 12 games and still walk away with the Lombardi. That's realistic.
And Mark Hope brings up that very fact with his $5. Appreciate it. Mark says Los separating facts from goofy narratives. I love it. Way to be big, man.
Haruku, buddy, you're wrong again.
Look at the Ayuk touchdown pass against Tampa Bay. That was not in stride.
Haruku, Haruku just says, I don't recall Young in Montana throwing a bunch of 40-yard bombs. Hey, buddy, put your email in the chat, and I'll send you a bunch of them. And if you think that they all went to Jerry Rice, you're wrong. I got a lot of touchdowns Montana to Freddie Solomon that went 50, 60, 70 yards. So,
John Taylor.
You're talking to a guy that knows his 49er history. You're barking up the wrong tree, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Love you, but send me your email. I'll send you those films. Young in Montana threw a lot of deep balls.
Yep. A lot. All right, so let's go to our 5 big bold takes in the NFL this year. Could be anything you want to go. I mean, you could say anything to the point that you think so and so is going to be the MVP. You could say this coach is going to get fired in the middle of the season. Anything.
5's a lot. 5's a lot.
Yeah, but it's off the cuff. It's off the cuff.
How about 1 for each person? That's
no, I said better. 5.
That's we're 2 hours and 3 minutes into this.
How about 3? Compromise 3.
I'm Kyle Shanahan. I'm a control freak.
All right, I'll start.
They don't have to be
I need to think about that to really come up with.
I'm just going to go off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's all it is. Top of the head. These are probably less than 10% chance of getting one of these right. Okay.
These Trevor Lawrence wins MVP.
I like that one. You took mine. Okay, go ahead.
Baltimore doesn't make the playoffs. That's 2.
Okay.
The Titans go to what's his name? The rookie quarterback.
You mean the guy that's a second-year guy?
Malik? No, the Titans go to Will Levis, and
Will Levis.
He's their future quarterback. Okay. The Raiders win like 2 games.
2 and 15, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
That's 4.
The Giants win the East.
Okay, NFC East. There we go. Not bad, Bora. Write those down, Bora. We'll come back and see if anybody got any of these right.
All right.
God.
You want to go, Los? I'll go. I don't know if I can get all 5.
I've been.
How about this for a bold take? Jimmy G leads the Raiders to a playoff berth.
Oh my God!
How about that?
Okay, that's not real bold though.
No, you don't think so?
It's not bad. We'll go with it. We'll give it to you.
How about the Niners don't make the playoffs and Shanahan's fired?
Oh man, that's a good one. I was going to go with that one.
And then how about to add that? Let's say after 9 games, Brady comes out of retirement to beat the San Francisco 49ers. QB1.
Wow.
What is that, 3? I got to go 4 here. Oh, my gosh.
He didn't play last year, did he? Brady? Was it last year?
No.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait. No, he did play last year, right?
Did he play last year? Has it been?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. His last year was last year. Yeah.
Okay. That's okay.
Um,
Seems like he's been gone for 2 years. Gosh. I don't know why.
I'm trying to think
or
of what
year.
else. Man, I'll just go for it, Los, because I don't know how if you got.
I'm at 3. I still got to write.
Yeah,
down
that's where I'm
All
at.
right, I haven't even thought of any because 2 of them have been taken. So I was going to go over the Niners one. All right, I'm going to just throw out some crazy ones that I can think of. Let's see. All right.
Shot.
Gosh, how can I come up with this?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it is harder than you think. Especially, I had 2 already in my head, and then they would just
That's
start
why
to flow.
I said 3.
All right, I'll just come up with 5.
I have 2 more. I have 2 more actually, because a couple of them were ass. Seahawks win NFC West.
Okay.
And the Lions represent the NFC in the Super Bowl.
Jeez.
Oh, like that. Okay. Trey Lance is the starting quarterback in Week 5. Dak goes down. He comes into San Francisco and beats the Niners. Trey Lance. There's one. Bold take. Okay, that's one.
Thanks, Val. Appreciate it, buddy.
Aaron Rodgers comes back and has an MVP season again and leads the Jets to the Super Bowl. That's 2. Nick Bosa repeats Defensive Player of the Year. Is that bold?
No.
That's not bold? Okay.
Not at all. He's dominant.
All right.
If you said Joey Bosa is them.
I don't want to say what I think about because I don't want to be the one to say it, so I'm not going to say it.
What are you jinxing?
I've got 2. First team to win 10 games this year is the Detroit Lions. Number 4, the first coach to be fired before the end of the NFL season. I got to look at the standings real quick so I can see the teams here. Come on, NFL standings. All right. First coach to get fired this year is the guy at San Diego. What's his name? I mean the Chargers. I call him San Diego. What's the guy's?
Yeah.
Is it
What's
Ben
that?
something?
No, that young coach.
No, I
He's
know.
always going
Yeah,
for it on 4th down. Whatever his name is. Chargers coach gets fired.
Brandon Staley.
Yeah, he's first coach to get fired. That's number 4. Number 5, the Chiefs fail to make the playoffs.
Chiefs fail to make the playoffs?
Yeah.
Wow.
I got one more.
Just a bold.
Christian Watson leads the league in receiving yards.
Ooh.
Damn, dude, how many are you gonna have?
No, I like that.
No,
Hey,
my final 5 are. These are my final 5.
Oh my god.
Christian Watson, if that happens, Buster's boys are going to be all over the bad boy in fantasy.
Mark Hope's got his picks in here, but I'll wait for Los. I think Los is reading it. He's like, yeah, I think I got some ideas.
Well, it took me a while. I've been talking a lot and defending myself against the chat attacking me. So doubting my Niner knowledge from the past, that's the wrong thing to do. I know a lot about them. Okay. First,
bad boy, what you going to do?
The bad guy.
Oh, bad
you
guy.
You need people like me. You need people like me.
Bad guy going down. Fantasy football.
First bold take is Christian McCaffrey will win MVP.
That's not bold.
Christian McCaffrey.
That's not bold.
Yeah, no, that's
Running
bold. It's a running back. Yeah.
All right, we'll get
Running backs winning MVPs don't happen. They don't get paid anymore. It's very
All right.
bold. Quarterbacks always win MVPs. So
Okay,
Christian
there you go.
McCaffrey will have 2,000 all-purpose yards and win MVP. Oh, but I'm not a Niner fan. I'm a hater. Number 2, the Chargers are going to win the AFC West.
Oh, I got
Number
Staley
3,
being fired. You got him win.
I got them winning the AFC West.
That's why I was
They're
getting
all-
fired because
they're-
they're supposed to win this year.
That offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, is going to make a world of difference for Mr. Justin Herbert, and he is going to light it up. He's on my other fantasy team, by the way. You're going to love this one. Trey Lance gets traded again. He goes to the Rams, takes over for Stafford, and is the starting quarterback for the Rams next year.
Wow.
Ooh,
Niners.
love it. Love
That's
it.
a good one. Mark
That's a
Hope with $5. He's got top 5 takes. I don't know.
He's interrupting my 5, so you got to wait.
No, he's not.
Oh, I thought you were done. Aren't
He's
you done?
not.
I got 3.
Eric is. It's
Oh, I thought he
Eric.
was done. I
Eric.
thought he was done.
Ah, you're
No,
done.
I only said 3.
How's that, Mark? I got rid of him. He took. No, I'm just playing. Half the time, 98%
Los, let's
of
go.
the time, 99,
Number
100% of the
4.
time, I'm kidding.
Number 4, Mike McDaniel, head coach of the Dolphins, will win Coach of the Year.
All right, there we go. Is that your 5?
That's 4.
4.
Oh,
And
okay.
number 5,
See, I asked.
number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can we all count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 5 is ending.
Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh,
Right in the middle.
that was Dan.
Hey,
was
you've never cut me off.
Oh,
Eric, I can't believe you
I
did that.
quit. I quit.
No.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
When he went 1,
Whoa,
2, 3, 4, 5, I had to do it.
Oh,
I
man.
quit on the job. Number 5 is Aaron Rodgers gets hurt halfway through the year. Zach Wilson takes over and leads them to the playoffs.
Okay. All right. And we got Mark
I
Hope
like Zach
now.
Wilson coming out of college. I
Yeah.
think he's a good
Yeah.
quarterback.
Mark Hope. Hey, wouldn't
All right.
that be something? Super Bowl, Cowboys, Jets, and it's Lance and Zach Wilson. Wouldn't that be like the ultimate? That would be like, wow, God's looking out over these maligned rookies, you know? Mark Hope.
The shot 316. That's great. Kyler Murray is the Las Vegas Athletics closer in 2026. He was a pitcher. He was drafted by the
Oh,
A's.
that's right.
He
I thought he was a shortstop.
That is a great one.
I
That's
thought he was
awesome.
a shortstop at
No, he's a
Oklahoma.
Wasn't he a
Are
pitcher?
you sure? I'm pretty sure he was a short.
I thought he was an
center fielder.
outfielder.
Maybe
He was an
maybe
outfielder. That's right. He was a center fielder.
Yeah. I mean,
He's center fielder.
I love where you're going with that, except he wasn't a pitcher and closer.
Yeah.
But being on the A's is that's priceless.
That's where he should go, man. Top 5
Yeah,
takes. Mark Hope, $5. $1 for every take. Can you do 10 takes, Mark? I'm kidding. Mark donates more than anybody, man.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray was a first round pick in baseball.
Him
too.
and glass half full.
Yeah. Top 5 takes. Brady plays in 23. 2. KC out of wild card round. Out in wild card round. 49ers go 11-6, lose wild card round to Cowboys. 4. Bengals win Super Bowl. 5. Burrow MVP. And he's also got another $2. The bad guy, Scott Hall.
Who's Scott Hall?
Who's gonna lose
Who's-
to me on
Who's
Sunday?
Scott Hall, Dan?
Hey, that's like me asking you who's Brees
it
Hall
is.
play for before
Exactly.
the fantasy draft.
Scott Hall. Hey, Chico.
Hey, Chico.
Scott Hall, is that
Ramon.
wrestling?
That's
Scott Hall?
wrestling.
Is that what are you? Are you into that?
He had the toothpick in his mouth.
All right, Bora, we can't deal with this wrestling on the
Oh
North.
my, yeah, thank God.
Come on, let's get these clowns. Wait. Let's bring these guys back properly.
Hey, Eric,
There
I
we go.
wish I could take Dan to like a WWE Raw Monday night event. He would absolutely.
I tell you what, you know what else we could do in
In my-
meantime? We could do this. There we go. Let's get into
Nice.
some wrestling.
Yeah, let's do a wrestling.
was great. That was great.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Having a little fun here. This is like Darth Vader versus Luke, man. And who's got more power, me or this guy? I think I do. All right.
Man.
There we go.
I quit.
Hey.
We're back in, Los.
Hey.
We're back in.
That's the last paycheck you get then.
I want severance and I want a suite at the Diamondbacks Giants game as a goodbye.
Hey, what was that song, Billy? Not Billy. It was what's my guy? He sang the song.
Ooh, Matthew Brittingham coming in strong.
Look at that. He says, Dan, you disgust me. You kick out wrestling fans and you join a league with no kickers at the same time, you turncoat. I thought you were a kicker.
I know. I wanted the kicker in the fantasy league because I think a kicker. Let me tell you a strategy I did last year. There was a kicker that a guy had, and his kicker got hurt. And there was one kicker left that was decent, that was available on waivers. And I claimed him, so he couldn't get him. I'm a dirty, rotten guy in fantasy. I played to win, and I didn't let the guy get the kicker because I was playing him. I didn't want him to get another kicker, so he ended up having to. I don't know who he ended up with, but strategy worked. But anyway, Billy Preston. That's right. When you said you wanted severance, you wanted a severance and a suite. Billy Preston. What was that song? Nothing from nothing. You got to have nothing. Remember that one?
Yeah, I know the song.
Yeah.
I know the song.
So since the fact that the pay grade isn't the greatest here on NorCal Sports Network,
I'm gonna pull a Bosa and hold out.
Bosa holdout. There we go. Hey, you've held out enough. You've held out. You've missed some of your shows. So Dirty Pool Dan. There we go. There we go. Dirty Pool Dan. That should be the name of my team, my fantasy. I changed it, guys. I'm no longer Harrison's Heroes, and I did change it before tonight's start. By the way,
yes, you did.
I did.
What
it wasn't
is it
like
now?
Buster's Boys.
Buster's Boys.
Oh, that's the one I gave you.
Yep,
Right.
You gave it to me. Look at this picture. I got a Buster tonight, laying right here on the rug. Look at that. Look at his face.
Ah, that's pretty good.
Look at that guy.
Got his paws straight out. That's awesome.
He's a good guy. Buster boy. He's sitting right here next to me. Wait, going for the chat. But let's get out of here. What do you got? Your fantasy team?
No, that's the fantasy team I'm going to destroy on Sunday.
Oh,
Who you play? What's the projected points?
I'm looking right at it. 56% for Bora, right?
I'm projected 131. Los is 126.
Hey, don't go by those projections though. They go all over the board.
He's playing me without Cooper Kupp.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
I was supposed to win like so many games last year that I didn't in the beginning. Jeez, it was awful.
He's got to rely on the immortal Sam Howell to do some things.
I have my faith in him.
Fosse, 35-14, Niners. All right.
I'll bet you $20. I'll bet you $20 straight up that Tua gets more points than Sam Howell.
I'm not taking that bet.
I like Graves' prediction.
You were talking crap about Tua.
Yeah, what round did you get Tua in?
The 4th.
Yeah, I got Howell in like the 6th or 7th.
It doesn't matter. Like he's my number 2 quarterback. He's your number 2 quarterback. Come on.
Okay, to start the season, Tua is going to be better, but
hey,
longevity throughout the season, Howell's going to pick it up, and Tua is going to hit his head and be done for his career.
Hey, sadly,
John Dini, don't put that out. Don't put that on the
And
universe.
So will
man.
your team.
sadly, I don't. I hate to see that happen, but the odds of that happening are quite high. I think one more concussion, and I don't think they play him next year. The rest of this year.
He was contemplating retirement this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he doesn't for his sake, just because it's awful.
What a rush.
What a rush. What are you talking about? Is that wrestling talk again?
Yep.
Okay. What a rush. I get a rush every time I throw him onto the rock. Put him on the rock. That's right. You come back in here, I'm putting you on the rock. I can talk wrestling.
First off, you're put up in the up.
All right, no more wrestling. That's right. No more wrestling. So
Up in the
so anyway,
Kruger, you missed a
I
good
got a
show.
I got a
Good
quick
show, Larry.
I got a quicker trigger than Eric's flapping mouth.
wreck.
See?
Up
Go
in
ahead,
the
Eric. All in fun. We'll bring this guy back. No, we won't.
Let's see.
Okay, we will.
Rossi, what the hell is happening?
Up in the rack.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Up in the rack. You guys, yes, I watched wrestling when I was about 8 to 12 years old. Thought it was fun. Outgrew it. A couple of my cohorts have not yet. Haven't outgrown it. Bora, smart guy. Look at him going places. Not worried about wrestling. These two guys. I mean, those.
Hulk Hogan, man, the real American. He's a real American.
Hey,
He
I
was
just
even in the song.
I grew up in the city, and I grew up in an era where there was a lot of shit talking in wrestling. There was a lot of, you know what?
Yeah.
I love the theatrics.
I can't even look like Los looks like a wrestler. I can't even do it. Look, I can, I can't even do it, man. I'm just like
You look like an umpire. I told you, like you make a great umpire. I could just see you getting into it with some.
Oh, hey, I would love to ump. I was a good umpire because I knew the game. I was a basketball official. I did football. I would say basketball was my favorite sport because I ran
referee?
up and down. Oh yeah, lots of running. Man,
Yeah.
loved it. Used to backpedal like a DB at times. Didn't even turn and run because I kept my eye on the ball, on the court. But those days are gone, man. It's too bad.
Right
too
on,
bad.
Mark.
I don't know what happened to Bora. We lost Bora.
He said he had to go, so he may have already been.
Oh,
gone.
did he just? I don't think he checked out.
No, he's just there.
There he is. He got cold. He had to put a jacket on. He's in Orange County. So, anyway, Dan looks like Larry David with the hat backwards. Oh, Saturday Night Live, Larry David. Okay, I'll take that. Dan the Man 100. There you go. Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Hey, anybody, seriously, if you guys want to do a wrestling show on the NorCal Sports Network, let me know so I can plan my vacation. And just let me know, and we'll have Los and Eric drive the channel into the ground. And, hey, it's okay. Hey, if you guys can get $100 in a wrestling donation in a show,
Oh, I bet you we could.
it's all yours.
I bet you we could.
It's all yours. You can split it, the two of
I
you.
bet you we could.
No, seriously, you get $100 in donations, I'll write you a check or Venmo you some money. You guys want to do a Wednesday night wrestling when nothing else is going on? You bring in your wrestling crew, you get the donations. Every penny that comes into the NorCal Sports Network is split between you two wrestlers.
Friday night
How's that?
football.
Huh?
Friday night football. That's a good headline.
Yeah. I know Mark Hope, man. He'll be dropping dimes in here.
I know
likes
he
wrestling.
will. Yep.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
See, there it is, right
No.
there. See,
Look at that.
I know the chat. See, I am one with the chat.
By the way, all wrestling revenue will go to Eric and I.
That's what I said that. Did you hear me say that, Los?
Yeah, you
Oh, I
did
missed
say
that. Sorry.
You missed the whole thing. Go back and listen. I said it like 3 times. You must have missed it.
little Hulkamaniacs.
I said anything that comes into the channel through the wrestling show goes directly to you guys.
Anything I make from the wrestling show will go to Dan and Secure Money, by the way. Make sure you give him a call.
Yep.
There you
Yep.
go.
Because we'll double that money. Yes. There we
Yeah,
go. Good plug.
If
Good
you're bad at gambling, then send your money to Dan. It's safe for that.
There we go. All right. Well, to our special guest, Larry, thank you.
The Invisible Man.
Oh, look at that. Mark Hope, $2. I guarantee the wrestling money will kill Friday Night Football. Because
Yes.
Mark controls the purse, man. All he's got to do is do
Woo!
a show and he yanks out 100 in one shot.
Woo! Man,
He does-
I might have to buy a Lucha Libre.
I might have to
mask or
bump that
something.
up to 200. I might have to bump that up to 200 and say, you got to get 200. Anything over 100, up to 100, you split with me. Anything over 150 is all yours. How's that? There we go. That'll
Hey,
push
changing the rules.
changing the rules, man.
Joseph Stalin over there, man.
You know it.
If you were to bet Mark Hope versus the rest of the field for super chats, Mark.
Oh, I'll
Hope
take
wins.
hope. My
Yeah,
hope is
Mark
in
Hope.
hope.
Mark
My hope is in
wins
Hey,
hope.
glass half full. Glass half full is not
Against-
so bad.
Mark Hope wins against everybody else.
Mark Hope is Mark
Glass
Hope is
half full is solid.
yes, he is. But Mark Hope is like Bruce Lee. You're quick and done and out. You're toast, man. He can just yeah.
You got a Lucha Libre mask there, Los?
What's that? No, I do not.
No, me neither.
Haruku, if the Steelers do win this game, then every time you comment, you got to do a super chat on Monday.
All right. After every Giants
Val.
loss, 21 games left. Sticking it further in. Okay. There it is. Look at those. Look at that. Look at that night. Yeah.
Staring you right in the face, right?
Come on. That
Buster's
thing,
boys.
is that going into the Giants this weekend? Or are they coming out with a sweep?
No.
We'll see.
You know what? I got a great idea for a wrestling show. We'll talk about it here in the green room.
All right.
Great idea.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thanks for hanging with us for over 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Just kind of hanging together on a Friday night. Just rapping, just having some fun.
That's what we do.
That's a great Niner talk. Hey, by the way, I was invited. I think I'll be on Larry's show after Sunday night,
Nice.
Sunday afternoon football. Hopefully that continues. And Larry will promote the NorCal Sports Network so we can grow that channel when he's got 800-900 people in there.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can
That'd be awesome.
we can get that.
Bossy,
That was the idea. So
Hey,
Larry,
real quick, what time's the game tomorrow, Dan? We didn't get into it.
6.
Oh, it's an evening game. Okay.
Yeah, it is at. I think it's at 6:10. Let me look.
Hey, Fossey, make sure you say that to 402.
6:05 start tomorrow night. So
Okay,
we'll be here about 9 o'clock tomorrow night.
Sounds good.
All right,
Y'all
everybody.
own it.
Oh, yeah,
Everybody?
for sure. I hope I own it.
Mhm.
I hope I own it.
Hey, thanks, Matthew and Dan, Eric, Bora, Los. This is a great show. Thanks, guys.
Woo!
Right on, Matthew. You've come a long way. I remember how you felt about us or your first impression. See, you gave us a chance, and I love it, man. Way to hang
He
in
lives
there.
on the
yeah,
East
yeah,
Coast
yeah.
now. 4 o'clock.
Oh,
10
my
minutes to
God.
4. So I stay up 3 hours later. Hey, awesome, Matthew. What part of the East Coast? I used to live on the East Coast. I was in New England, in Connecticut.
He must be working graveyard.
Man, remember I was going after Matthew pretty bad in the beginning. No, nothing personal. Just thought we were getting attacked.
Eric tends to do that. He tends to jump on guys and just beat the tar out of them.
Put him in a rock.
And every time I have to sometimes just remind him, Eric, it's never too.
I knew it.
He just goes.
I knew it.
He knows it. Yep.
Matthew and everybody else for that matter, make sure you let people know about us. Tell your friends.
Right.
Yeah, spread the word.
Tell your coworkers, spread the word.
2 quick games. I see Colorado, Nebraska tomorrow. Who do you got, Los?
Colorado.
All right, Bora, Colorado, Nebraska.
Colorado.
All right. That's at Nebraska or at Colorado?
No, in Colorado.
At Colorado.
Oh, Colorado. Cal, Auburn. At Cal.
I got
Cal.
Ooh, Auburn does not Auburn never travels to the West Coast. They're gonna their young guys are gonna be partying in the Bay Area, and they're gonna be hungover, and Cal wins that game.
It is in Atlanta. All right.
He's in Atlanta. Okay.
Roll on, you Bears. Go Bears. Go Bears. Cal Bears. All right, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night about 9 o'clock, and we'll see where the Giants are tomorrow.
Yep.
Have a great one. Arrivederci. Ciao, ciao.
Woo!